Hey guys, Jorge with you again today. This video series, what we're going to take a look at is how to set up the gradebook in Blackboard. All right, so there are 5 parts to setting this up. The first thing is what we're going to do is we're going to set the term dates. All right, so when do our quarters begin and end? When are the midterms? When are the finals? The next thing we're going to take a look at is column organization inside of the gradebook. How do I make the gradebook a little bit more user-friendly? The next thing that we're going to take a look at in the third part of the series is creating categories. So some teachers like to create categories, especially if you are using a weighted grading system. We need to be able to create our own categories, and so that ultimately we can assign the weights that we need them to be. And then in part 4 of the series, we'll take a look at how to create the gradebook or quarterly grades using a total point system, which some teachers use. And then in part 5, we'll take a look at how to use the gradebook to create quarterly weighted averages. All right. So the first thing that we're going to take a look at is the term dates, how to set up our terms, our quarters in Blackboard. All right, so the first thing that we do is we log in. Okay, go ahead and do that. And we're going to pick our class, whichever class. Now, this is a section by section routine. You have to do this, these processes for every section. There is no bulk setup option, at least as far as I know. All right, so I'm going to go find the class that I want. All right, and I guess I'll set up my AP Computer Science class. I'll click on that. And that should shortly take me to my class. Next thing that I want to do is I want to go to the gradebook. All right, so we're going to scroll down, and on the left-hand side, there's the Grade Center, which is where we want to go now. And we click on it to expand it. And what I want to do is I want to go into the full Grade Center. So I'll click on that. The full Grade Center is basically my gradebook. What does my gradebook look like right now? Okay. So we'll worry about the columns, all right, in the next video or two. But right now, all I want to do is to set up my term dates. All right, so what I want to do is I want to go up top where it says Manage and just mouse over Manage, and you get the pull down. It automatically pulls down for you. And then what we want to do is we want to set up our grading periods. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on Grading Periods. And it's going to take me to the screen. Now, obviously, you can see that I have no terms created yet. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to create our terms. All right, so the first thing I need to know is what are the terms? All right, so here we go. All right, so first quarter and second quarter are the ones that I'm going to set up now. All right, I don't have to set up the entire gradebook in terms of quarters and terms and midterms and finals yet. Because those dates may change, all right, but I'll definitely set up the first and the second quarters. And even if the dates do change, it's not a big deal to go back in and modify a quarterly beginning and end date. But I'm just going to do the first 2 quarters right now. So I can see here that the first quarter starts Monday, September 12th, and ends on November 2nd. All right, so September 12th to November 2nd. I'm going to go to back to Blackboard. I'm in my grading periods, and I'm going to create a grading period. I'm going to call it whatever I want, but something descriptive like first quarter is probably pretty descriptive. Okay. Grading period dates. All right, so when does it start? When does it end? All right, so we decided that the first quarter starts on Monday, September 12th. Right, so all I did was I clicked on the little calculator, the calendar. All right, over on the right-hand side. And I'm going to find September 12. And then when does it end? And we're going to do the same process. Click on the calendar. Okay. If I want to navigate by month, I hit the single arrow. If I want to navigate by year, I hit the double arrow. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate by month. I'm going to go find November 2nd, which is Wednesday. Okay. And then associate columns. This is a good checkbox to check if there are any assignments already associated or have a date on them, a due date in a particular period, then we can go ahead and click on that. So there's no downside to clicking that associate grade column period. So we click on submit, and we have created the first quarter, and we can see it here. All right, so we're going to do the same thing for the second quarter. So I just want to double check my dates again. All right, so the second quarter starts November 3rd and ends January 12, 2017. Okay, so I'm going to go back into Blackboard. I'm going to create a grading period again. I'm going to call it something descriptive like second quarter. And then my range. So my range will be November 3rd. All right, click on the calendar. Find November. So we're going to go November 3rd to January 12, 2017. So let me go find January 12, 2017. Click the associate this grading period. Okay. Click submit. And we're done. All right, so everything looks good here. All right, I have my first and my second quarter. I have my September 12th to November 2nd range for the first quarter, November 3rd to January 12th for my second quarter. Okay, if I ever need to change a date, let's say that we have a snow day at some point, and we decide that we need to tack on days. All right, what I would do is I would go back to the second quarter, or whichever quarter it is that I have to change dates for. I hit the little down arrow, right? So when you approach the when you mouse over the row for that quarter, you get the little down arrow next to the title. Click on that. Click on edit, and then we can go ahead and reset that date to whatever it needs to be. So we can change the start and the end dates as needed. Just make sure that if you change a start or an end date, that you also change the quarters that are around it so that we don't have an overlap between quarters. All right, click on submit. And we're done. All right, so we've set up our first and second quarters. You can go ahead and set up the midterm, third and fourth quarter and final periods now if you want to, or you can wait until we get a little bit closer to those time periods. There's really no upside or downside to either one. Like I said, I usually set up the first and second quarters, and then once we start getting close to midterms, and we figured out that we haven't had any snow days, or we have had snow days and we need to tack on days somewhere, then I'll go ahead and make those adjustments. All right, or add those columns. All right, so that's it for setting up our grading periods. In the next video, we will take a look at column organization, making our gradebook a little bit easier to work with, a little bit more user-friendly. All right, see you in the next video.